You ready? Good morning. My name is Fred Heineke. I'm with Big Rivers Marketing. We are the A.O. Smith reps for the Kansas City area. I'm here this morning at wherever the Swope Health Center at 4141 Martin Luther King Boulevard in Kansas City. And this morning we're going to talk a little bit about the two heaters that are behind us. The heaters are identical. They are BTH 150s. They are A.O. Smith branded BTH 150s. That means that they are 150,000 BTUs each, and they are 100 gallons each. They are a high efficiency heater with a maximum temperature of 180 degrees. We don't want to set it there without letting somebody know it. Looks like our set temp this morning is 120 degrees. The water in this building is tempered with a leaded tempering system. The reason we're bringing that up real quickly is these water heaters are very accurate. The thermostats in them are very accurate, but they won't keep water to the same range of temperature as this tempering valve system will. So let's start out at the beginning real quickly and talk about the pertinent information. Enrique, if we could zoom in on this data plate. For those of you that may be watching, this data plate is probably the most important information to have if you have an issue with the water heater. Everything that the factory will need is contained on that data plate, the model number, and note the series number. And probably the most important thing is the serial number. It also tells us what the maximum BTU input is. This is a modulating heater, so it will modulate down to 78,000 BTUs. The serial number, again, is extremely important, and it also tells us what gas pressures that we ought to have. Note that there is a QR code on this water heater. Should you have a question about this water heater, you can scan this QR code, and a video will come up, and a menu will come up and ask you what video you'd like to see, and there is a list of common practices or issues that may come up, and you can choose one of those maybe to answer a question. What we want to do on the water heater itself, the water heater, as I said earlier, is set to 120 degrees. We don't want to move that without permission from somebody in maintenance. When we go above 120 degrees, our risk of scalding increases significantly. Currently, the tank set temperature is 115 degrees, set from the factory. This water heater, when it drops 8 degrees, when the temperature drops 8 degrees, the water heater will kick on and bring it back to 120 and then shut off. Note also that if there is an issue with the water heater, an error code will come up, and that error code is in plain English. Let's say, for example, you had a bird's nest in the flue. If a bird built a nest in the flue, we might have blocked flue come up there. If we maybe shut the gas pressure off or shut the gas off and went to fire it, we would get something that says low gas pressure or no gas across there. So everything is in plain English. Probably one of the things we want to be sure to take a look at least once a year is the TMP valve. The TMP valve is there for safety, not to protect the water heater, but to protect people. And we want to make sure that it is sealed or that it is not dripping. That can be checked once a year. And we want to make sure that seals back. If you see that the TMP valve is seeping with a small drip down here toward the drain, there is a problem. And if it's seeping, it is a thermal expansion problem, so we need to check this tank that's at the top. And while we're on that subject, checking that tank is the most important thing that you can do for the longevity of the water heater. We're assuming here that our water pressure is under 80, as mandated by national code, not only city code, but national code. If we run over 80 PSI, we're going to shorten the life of these water heaters very significantly. So this TMP valve will open or seep at 150 PSI. That tells us that that expansion tank is not doing its job. So once a year, we'd like to check the pressure in that expansion tank, and that the pressure should match in the expansion tank with completely removed or with no pressure on it from the plumbing system. The air charge in that should equal the incoming water pressure for the building. So if we've got 70 PSI coming in, and do we have a PRV in this building? Okay, we've got a PRV. So if our PRV right now, it looks like it's reading it's reading 75 psi. That expansion tank, if we unscrewed it right now, took it out and held it in our hands, the air charge, checked by that Schrader valve underneath that blue cap, should read 75 psi. If it is not, then that is not properly charged. The warranty on the water heater is 3 years on the tank against leaking, and it is 1 year on parts. So with regard to a leaking water heater, should this water heater leak under warranty, the technical support number needs to be called, and they will issue a replacement number. Note that if the water heater is replaced without obtaining a replacement number, there will be no credit issued. So it's very important if there's an issue to call that number. Also, if you have an error code, highly recommend that you call this number as well, and they will walk you through that. John or Enrique, is there anything that you think that we're omitting on this?
I think so. You covered it pretty well.
Very good. The date today is June 29th, 2023. And Enrique had a question or a comment?
Can you maybe walk through just like the menu options?
No, because I don't want anybody to touch it. No. The question was, Enrique said, can you walk us through the menu option? Yes, I can. Just please note that changing the menu will affect the performance of the heater dramatically. But we will talk about it. The menu is a touch screen. It is much like an iPad. So if we want to go into the menu, we can touch that and we can see various things. I'll not go through everything here, but one of the things that I would look at if I were coming out to look at the heaters, I would look at the heater information. We just touch that. That tells us how long the heater has been plugged in. Tells us how much the heater has burned. So out of 29 days and 1 minute, the heater has burned 4 hours and 9 minutes. So this gives us a lot of information about the heater, and that is one place that we take a look. It'll also give us things like cycle counts and so on and so on and so forth. We can also change the temperatures from this spot. This is how we change it. Operating set point is there, and we can turn the heater up or down from there. Please note that we really, without permission from somebody above, we really don't want to be changing the temperatures. While our tempering valve may handle some fluctuation in temperature, we do run a risk anytime that we change the temperature of having too hot of water, or maybe if we reduce the temperature, not enough hot water. Does that answer the question? All right.
Yes.
All right, very good. There is one other thing that I forgot. Should there be an issue with the heater? The heater can be worked on. When the heater is worked on, we want to press this enable, disable button. We will press that now. Note that really nothing changed other than we were told that the heater was disabled. What that does, this heater has an electronic anode rod. It has 2 electronic anode rods in it that never need to be changed. However, those anode rods need power to protect the water heater. So if we're working on the water heater, or the water heater were to malfunction, you feel like you need to shut it down, this will disable the water heater, but it continues to put power to those anode rods. So at this point, we can work on anything electronic. We can shut ball valves off if we need to. We just want to leave this in the disabled position. When we're done, we enable the heater and it will start back right where it is right now today. That's all I got. This is Fred Heineke again with Big Rivers Marketing. Thanks.